Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food, it's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Welcome back to our Food School podcast marathon, where you're gonna learn all about nutrition, fitness, healthy eating, healthier lifestyle, based on all the recent research and evidence, again, from all areas related to your health and well-being, sleep, nutrition, recovery, fitness, mindset, behavioral science, everything and anything in between. I believe that is very important for you to know and change your behavior based on this knowledge to just feel amazing, perform your best mentally and physically every single day, and look great, of course. So if you're just joining us, check back all the 8 episodes that came before this one. And today is lesson number 9, where we will talk about calories. I was asked a few times to talk a little bit more about this subject that seems to be very important to a lot of people, but once you understand what a calorie really is, and how your body works with food, you hopefully will start worrying about calories much less and will pay attention more to your lifestyle and actual food that you eat on a daily basis and actually how you eat. Well, calorie is potential, and I want to stress this, potential energy in any kind of substance that we burn in a bomb calorimeter, that is device used in physics to figure out the amount of warmth that is needed to warm up 1 degree Celsius, 1 kilogram of water. So that is what the calorie is. And that, as you can see, it's not based on what your body actually does when you put the food in your mouth, when you digest it and use it for different metabolic purposes, be that building some cell structures or some chemical reactions that always happen in your body, or be that storing your energy or using directly for some activity like training. So calorie, the way it's measured and the data that you get from any kind of applications, be that MyFitnessPal or some fat loss tracker, the data is based not on what your body does with food. There is no such tracker till this day. And it's kind of like hard to design the really precise tracker because our metabolism, what our body does with certain foods, is unique to each individual. But even take into account such data as like our body requires or gets different kinds of energy, different amount of energy from, let's say, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats in our foods, but also that depends on the kind of food. And no tracker really tells you that exact amount that you would get from different kinds of food. Again, it's really complicated to design such a tracker. That's why there is none to this day. Anyway, let's start from the beginning. Usually you care about your calories because you want to lose weight, lose fat, and change your physique, right? So there are actually things that will help you to reach that goal without counting calories much better, and that also will give you more health, more vitality, more energy, better mental and physical performance. So first, before counting anything, you need to actually change what you eat. You need to change the quality of your actual foods at every single meal. So for example, instead of eating cookie, I don't know, with a glass of milk for breakfast or coffee and croissant, start eating an avocado and a couple of eggs. That's what I mean by changing the quality of your foods. Even though you might even eat more calories in that avocado egg breakfast than you would eat in your croissant and a cup of coffee, but the quality matters for your body more. Your body is a biological complex system, and it doesn't just count calories. It actually doesn't count anything. It interacts with different foods, and different foods produce different hormonal and metabolic changes in your body that will promote either fat gain or fat loss or building of some structures, increased metabolism or decreased metabolism, increased inflammation or decreased inflammation, a lot of things. So your body interacts with foods, not with calories. So it's better to start losing weight, losing fat by changing the quality of what you eat. Also, depending on how lean you want to get, obviously at some point, for example, if you're trying to compete as a fitness model, just watching the quality of what you eat is not enough. You need to actually count or measure the amount of what you eat. So depending how lean you want to get, but most people don't want to be fitness models, right? So you might even never need to count or limit the amount of food in any way if you just change the quality of foods that you eat. That's why, for example, me personally, to give you an idea, I love high fat, really low carb diet, because that way, if I'm not preparing for any competition or photo shoot, I don't have to count anything. I can eat whatever, as much as I want, from nutritious, whole food, high fat, low carb, unprocessed foods, and I'm not gonna put on any weight. So that's the example of how by changing what you eat, not how much you eat, you can sustain and maintain certain body fat percentage, a certain body weight. And it doesn't mean also that high fat, low carb diet works for everyone, or the way I eat will work for everyone. But that's what works for you, and you can figure out what works for you in the same kind of way, where you don't have to limit yourself in the amount of food you eat, where you don't have to count anything. You just change the foods that you actually enjoy to eat and that work for your body and for your healthy weight maintenance. So first, change the quality of food. Then second thing, I would change eating behavior if you need the next level of progress. What do I mean by eating behavior? Well, first of all, of course, not rushing and eating slowly and chewing your food, but also things like having 3 meals a day and no snacking. So no snacking is a change of eating behavior. And I'm not saying you gotta cut that amount of food by those snacks, but no, just have 3 meals and eat all your food in those 3 meals, and don't eat outside of those meals, even though the amount of food can be exactly the same. Then also times of your food. It's proven by studies that if you finish your meals earlier in the day, let's say by 4 p.m., you finish all your meals, and then you have the same amount of food as you would have in your 3 meals, and you might have still 3 meals, just spaced a little bit shorter between each other, and you just again change the meal times and you stop eating early, and that will help you also to lose some weight and fat, and to make the next step in your progress. So that's what I mean by changing eating behavior. For myself, if I need to really cut and I don't feel like counting, a lot or changing the amount of food, I just eat once a day from 2 to 3, and the rest of the time I fast, and I might eat exactly the same amount of calories, but I will lose more fat. So that's what I mean by changing your eating behaviors. Only then, after that, I would start thinking about the amount of food you eat. Actually, I would probably not even start there. Well, I would start there. I would change the amount of certain foods in your diet. So again, you might eat the same exact calories if you put it in some app, but you will eliminate certain foods that tend to promote weight gain and tend to slow down weight loss for a lot of people. Like, for example, stop eating added sugars, added sweet taste of any kind, natural, even fruits and berries. Stop eating starch. That's kind of like the next thing. And by starch, I mean things like potatoes or things like grain products or grain-based products like pasta or pizza. Then eliminate all the processed food, basically food that comes in any kind of package and process that is not recognizable as a whole food that was once grown or once was alive. Then I would probably cut added fats, so would still eat healthy fats from whole foods like fatty fish, like avocados or nuts and seeds, but I would eliminate any kind of butters or oils that you might add to your food. Then I would probably eliminate dairy products, and then I would never cut or do anything to green leafy vegetables, to non-starchy vegetables, to my proteins. I would not cut that because those are essential for your health. Foods, you need your vitamins, you need your minerals, you need your proteins, you need your healthy fats, and yeah, I don't want you to be on a low fat diet. A certain amount of fat, of healthy fats from whole foods are absolutely needed for normal hormonal health and for your normal metabolism of your cells and of your whole body. So before cutting any kind of calories or starving yourself, start changing again the quality of your food, but change it even more precise, eliminating certain food groups that promote fat gain in a lot of people. And only after that, after you eliminated all these groups and you still need to cut, even though it's, again, unless you're competing, that would be like more than enough. Only after that, I would try to count calories. And to count calories, you want to understand a few things that we'll talk about right now. First of all, you never know the exact numbers that you in particular spend every day. You cannot account for all the chemical reactions, hormonal reactions, or anything that happens inside your body. Only there are scientific methods to measure how much energy you burn or you need at rest. There are scientific methods, direct and indirect, that are pretty expensive and only available in some scientific labs that some institutes or medical institutions have. Other than that, and even then, it's not precise because each day is different and it's different to be in that scientific lab and do things in life. So you can never know precise your precise calorie distribution or consumption by your body. So understand this. You don't know how much calories your body actually needs. And also, it's really hard to understand how many calories your body actually gets from any kinds of foods, because your unique body, your unique gut microbiome, your unique digestion and metabolism partitions, basically uses the fuel that you give it in different ways. So you and I might eat the same exact food, but might get the completely different amount of calories. And also, there's also been proven by studies that people vary a lot when it comes to what their bodies do with the fuel. So again, we can eat the same exact food and my body will burn it off and use it to build muscles or to use some cellular structures or use for some recovery work, and your body might starve your cells, but will put that into fat. That's how tricky metabolism can be. So understand that also. That's why my diet, the exact diet will not work the exact way for anyone else, even though, a lot of people can have pretty similar diet and have pretty similar effect. But still, you need to understand that one diet will not work exactly the same for you and for someone else. You also want to understand that different foods give different amount of energy to your body. It takes some energy for your body to process, to digest, to assimilate nutrients from food. So proteins, for example, takes the most energy to digest, and you get the least amount of energy from them according to any kind of calorie table. So if you eat potential energy of food, of protein food, let's say 300 calories, and you eat the same potential energy from fats, then your body from fats will get somewhere around 300 calories, and from protein foods, it might get as little as 200 and 100 calories deficit. It's a lot, especially when accumulated for different meals over the course of several days. So proteins, carbohydrates, fats, then also how processed food is. Obviously, if you drink your calories from carbohydrates, then your body has to do almost no work to get all the calories. But if you're eating, let's say, whole fruit, your body still has to do quite a lot of work to get the energy, to get the carbohydrates from that food. And that's going to be different. Then fiber, as we just talked, has a lot to do with calories consumption from food. So if that food, vegetable or fruit usually, or nuts, have a lot of fiber, that fiber is not going to add up to your calories because there are different kinds of fibers. Some fibers are totally indigestible. Some fibers are digestible partly. Some are fully. You want to understand that your body will not get that much calories from fiber, even though in a lot of calorie counters, fiber is still calorie like usual carbohydrates. Also, it matters if you eat cooked or raw. For example, raw broccoli will give you much less calories than cooked broccoli, and it goes for most vegetables or whatever you cook. Actually, raw egg will give you, I believe it's around 50 calories, and cooked around like 70, 80. Might be the difference, might be even more. So cooked food always gives you more calories. That's why actually, we as human beings, you can call us cooking animal, because we were able to survive and develop such a hungry brain because we started to cook and were able to get more nutrition from the same foods as other animals would not get without cooking the same food. That's why also raw food diet works so well, because you get so much less calories from raw food than from cooked food. So because of all these factors and probably some other factors, you don't ever know how much calories you consume, how many calories you burn. So you might still count calories, but I would suggest to keep the same meals and then change the amount of certain foods in those meals. And basically you might count the calories in those meals, but also understand the moment you change the foods, then keeping the calories the same, the amount of calories you get from those meals, from those different kinds of meals, will be different. So one meal with the same calories will not be, you'll not get the same amount of calories from two different meals, even though on paper they might have the same exact calories. So that's what you want to understand about weight loss, fat loss, and calories. And to recap, guys, first, if you want to lose weight, lose fat, you want to start first changing the food quality, what you eat over how much you eat. Then you want to change your eating behaviors, amount of meals, no snacking, when you have your food. Then you want to start eliminating certain food groups and see how that affects your diet. Like, for example, added sweets, added starch, added fats, and only then you might start thinking about counting and limiting the amount of food you get. And again, it also depends what your goal is. But for most of you guys, unless you're trying to compete or be and work as a fitness model most of the time, counting calories or even reducing the amount of food you eat when everything done right is not necessary. So that's it for today, lesson number 9, and stay tuned for lesson number 10 tomorrow. Thank you for listening, guys. Really appreciate you all. And as usual, till next time, eat better daily.